Hi there folks, time for yet another Mastertronic review, and this time I'm going to take a look at a game from 1987 that goes by the name of Rasterscan. Here's the colourful cover of Rasterscan then, logos there, and lots of pinky, bluey, yellowy, greeny things in the background, and the graphic, well, it looks to me like a large silver ball travelling down a circuit board. We've got some obvious PCB tracks there and resistors and chips and things on the side there. Bit unusual, shall we say. Not sure it quite represents what's going on in the game, but we'll soon find out. And the spine says Rasterscan on it. Back cover, or back edge I should say, has just got the blurb about the game, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but there you go. An animated challenge in real time with the weirdest atmosphere ever. And inside the inlay we've got some screenshots which don't look like Commodore screenshots, but they might be just ported from the Spectrum version. This game, as it said on the back cover, I didn't mention it, was by Binary Design, the Pickford brothers. So most of their games started out on the Spectrum and were ported over to the C64. Inside we've got the instructions in a very small font, which I won't go into in too much detail, but there's lots of information there, most of which is probably not relevant to playing the game. There's a bit there about playing the game. It's an animated adventure game without any text. Well, to be honest, I'd hope so by the time this was released. So it tells you about all the various things you'll come across in the game. Generators, engines, scanners, etc. And it also has a representation of the in-screen, in-game HUD. And you can save the game, it seems there. I won't be doing that, I suspect. And that's about it really. Here's the loading screen then, and I'm not really sure what to say about this. It seems to have a very blocky shaped spaceship in space, and it says Rasterscan at the top there, and the artwork seems to have been done by Lee, whoever he is, and oh, it's gone off the screen. Never mind, it wasn't very spectacular anyway. This is the title screen then, and as you can see it's pretty unspectacular. There's no music, there's no credits, no scrolling messages, no fancy titles, it's just some text that says Rasterscan, gives you a choice of joystick or keyboard and space or fire to start the game. So let's start the game by pressing fire. Without further ado. So the game starts and basically you're a robot. This is me, the little spherical thing. You're a robot which is on a spaceship which has crashed into an asteroid, or an asteroid's crashed into it would be more accurate, and is damaged, so you've got to repair it. You've got no weapons, there's nothing to kill anyway, and you can't pick anything up, you've got no arms, but you can make things teleport around apparently, according to the manual. The manual is very important for this game, you'd have no chance without it, because it basically tells you what to do to complete the game. That doesn't make it that much easier, but anyway, moving around, he kind of rotates and he bounces around quite a lot. In fact, he's very difficult to control once he gets moving. As you can see, he bounces off surfaces that he's not allowed to go past. He bounces off the floor and the sides and so on. There's various things around that you can use to move around the ship. Obviously you can move yourself like this, and you can also use these teleporter things, some of which do something and some of which don't. This one does. I've already played through the game several times and got a certain way through it so that I can actually demonstrate how to play the game. Graphics are pretty nice. There's a nice sort of sheen on the robot, which is called, I've forgotten, MFB I think it's called. It's some kind of acronym anyway. So otherwise there's lots of pipes and cables around which you've got to repair. That's part of the aim of the game. There's also locks that have to be disengaged, and this is one of those. I'm heading to a storeroom, by the way, to collect something to fix a pipe on the outside of the ship. The reason for that is that At the moment the ship's running on emergency power, and that's the emergency power going down, so I've got to fix the pipe which will allow the fuel to go into the generator to keep the ship running. This thing indicates some kind of danger, which as you can see is not that high a level at the moment. So anyway, I'm going to go in here, and that engages this little logic puzzle, and the idea is you've got to get them all the same colour. It seems to always be yellow that you need to make them, so that's done by pressing these things, moving the thing around, trying to get them there you go. Pretty easy really, easier than on previous attempts in fact. Seems to be a bit of luck involved. And this is now taking me into the storeroom where there's various things you can pick up, and from trial and error on previous goes I know that I need to pick up something from this barrel here. As you can see, that's just appeared in the bottom left there. So he's kind of, although he can't physically carry items, he's kind of put that somewhere. I don't really know, it doesn't really matter. It says things about teleporting and stuff in the instructions, none of which is very relevant. So the next thing I've got to do then is go and fix the outside of the ship, which you can see the little diagram of the ship at the bottom which tells you where you are in the ship. That's quite handy, otherwise you'd be completely lost in a maze of all these pipes. So I'm heading to the outside of the ship. The blue pipe is what I'm going to fix on the outside, this blue pipe here. You can't go past that, so that actually serves as a barrier around the playing field. So anyway, moving on. That's the outside of the ship there, the edge of it. What I'm heading towards is an airlock, which again I've already seen several times over. Believe me, it'd be a pretty bad review if I hadn't had several goes of the game already to work out what the hell I'm doing, because it is quite complicated. So this is one of the most annoying rooms in the world, because if you go into it too low, it bounces you back out over and over again. Really annoying. Control of the thing is quite annoying, it bounces around all over the place. You can move quite quickly, but there's no point. So this is another lock to be disengaged, and it's much the same as the other one, same kind of idea. You've got to get them all yellow again, it seems. There we go. This is an airlock effectively, so this will allow me to go outside the ship, and there I am. Not very obvious how you get back in. You do just go into the side of the screen and it goes back in, but the first time I played it, it was pretty tricky to work out how to get back in. So while I'm moving around the outside of the ship, a little note about the sound. In-game sound effects are limited to some little sort of beeps and whirring sounds and stuff depending on what you're doing, but the music's pretty cool. It does get a bit repetitive, but it's not a bad little SID tune. I'm not sure who the composer of it was. As you can see, the battery power is almost half gone. You do have to get around quite quickly to fix all this stuff. Somewhere down here, if I go down now, there we go, that's the thing that I need to fix, and if I hover over that and press fire, you'll notice that it's now fixed and the warning level's gone down a little bit. Strangely, I thought that's all you have to do based on the instructions to get the power back online, but those yellow blobs will continue to go down, and I haven't worked out yet how you fix that. Maybe I will on this go, and if not, then that'll be the end of the review anyway. Aside from the control of the little robot and not knowing which one of these seemingly exactly the same screens actually gets me back into the ship, or we've gone too far, it's actually a nicely put together game. It's nice graphics, as I said, sound are pretty good. It's got a nice aim to the game, although it is quite tricky. What I have noticed on previous goes is that you can get rid of those 4 danger lights by locking the airlock again. I thought that's what I needed to do to start the power working, but that didn't seem to work either. So there's these logic puzzles. Apparently there's a method to the madness, but it's just hit and miss for me. So you see the 4 warning things have gone now. They do come back eventually, and I haven't worked out why yet. So the other things you can do is fix these cables which fix the power to the engines or something along those lines. So you can see one of them there's got a little break in it, so I'm going to go off back to the storeroom, go and get something to fix that. Don't think you need to watch all that, however, because you'll just see me bouncing around all over the place for a little bit of time. Before I go back there actually though, let's just go and show you a little bit of other parts of the ship. This is the generator, the battery. I can't do anything there. When I press fire next to it, nothing's happening. So there's something else to do somewhere to get this to work, and I haven't quite worked it out yet. So here I am back at the storeroom, and I'm going to get something from this barrel this time, which, when it appears in the bottom left, looks almost identical, but is actually a slightly different shape. This one will fix the cable, which I then have to go all the way back. There's a lot of tracking backwards and forwards in the game, no doubt about that. Like I say, I don't know if this is going to help or not, but I'm going to give it a go. Oh, I'm bouncing around crazily all over the place now. Really annoying. Right, here we go. Let's see if this gives me any joy. I can't even use that. There we go, it's gone. Don't think that's helped in any way. And I've only got 3 blobs of energy left before the power runs out. So the only thing I can do is go and show you the generator. And the other bit of the generator that I've seen, which means going back through this thing. Nice little effect there, and then I go over here somewhere. This is in the other half of the ship. And as you can see, there's more of these things around. They don't seem to do anything. This one, for example, it bleeps, but it doesn't really do anything. And I've got this here, and I don't know if this is what I'm supposed to fix in some way. But it just, nothing seems to happen. I don't know. I can't move it around, I can't push it, can't interface with it in any way. That does seem to be where the problem lies, potentially, but I'm just not getting it. Unless I'm supposed to link this yellow thing to the blue thing somehow with a component that I've not seen before or not got. So that's it pretty much. It's quite a nice idea. I've had a look online to see if I can work out how to get a bit further in the game, and I can't find anything that'll help me. So I've pretty much given up. I quite like it. I might come back and have another go of it in the future, but in terms of a review, that's about it, because I'm about to run out of power and that will be the end of the game. Just explore a little bit more, but it's all pretty much the same. Well, there is one thing I haven't shown. Oh, I've died. I was just going to show that you can actually save the game and then reload it by interfacing with some of those little teleporter pods, but the first time I did it, I'd got no idea that's what I was doing, and was rather surprised to be presented with a completely blank screen. Anyway, so that's that. $1.99 the asking price. Well, I think you probably get your money's worth out of it, and it is quite enjoyable to play. It's certainly, apart from the controls, which can get a bit frustrating, quite enjoyable. So yeah, let's say it was worth $1.99, although it could get a bit frustrating if it's not very obvious how you progress from that point that you've just seen.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
2, 1, 0.